Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ethel Stone, and I am a member of Swansboro Baptist Church. My granddaughter, Kiana, is in the 9th grade in Chesterfield County Public Schools. Some of you heard Kiana's story in October when I shared that a group of girls bullied Kiana last year. They called her names and threatened to beat her up. She started 8th grade on the honor roll, but with the bullying, her grades and confidence declined. She could not sleep at night and was afraid to go to school. Kiana has Asperger's syndrome and works with a case manager. She told the case manager about the bullying, but this school staff member mocked her as well. Nothing was done to address the problem. We are hopeful that high school will be better, but it has even been worse. Kiana still struggles with self-esteem and feeling safe in school. On her birthday last December, she got very excited because her friends were texting her to wish her a happy birthday. Because she was using her phone, she was sent to the principal's office. She got very upset, started flapping her hands. This is a common reaction for children with autism. But the principal said she was being aggressive. Suddenly, she was suspended for 10 days. After the suspension, we were told that Kiana could not go back to Byrd High School. Excuse me. She was assigned to homebound schooling for the entire spring semester. This has been sporadic evening tutoring and a total of 8 weeks with no school at all. Kiana cannot participate in after-school activities. She is alone all day, and she is falling further behind in her classes. Kiana will not go to school until the 10th grade. And what would have changed? Byrd High School has the worst suspension rate of Chesterfield high schools, and staff have not been trained in trauma-informed care. Rather than trying to understand Kiana's emotions, her disability, or the bullying she experienced, the school saw one option: suspension. Kiana's experience in Chesterfield County Public Schools is unacceptable. Kiana and thousands of children like her need teachers who can respond to bullying and other problems so that they can stay in school and learn. Thank you so much.
Stories like Kiana why we are gathered here tonight. Last year, Chesterfield Schools suspended students 4,300 times. And getting suspended because of a behavior problem can differ by the student group, since African American students with disabilities are suspended 4 times more often than others. Chesterfield administrators also estimate that 5 to 8 children per classroom have a mental health condition, and 3 students committed suicide in 2016. For many children with mental health or behavior problems, trauma is a root cause. The traumatic events can come from bullying, like we heard the story of Kiana, living in poverty, violence on your street, death of a parent, or abuse. Last year, we found that trauma for Chesterfield children is growing fast, and in our 2017 action, Chesterfield leaders agreed that trauma is a problem for their students. We asked for evidence-based training for staff, and they agreed. Over the past year, we have met with Chesterfield leaders 4 times and asked for the training details We have not been told clear goals, timelines, evaluations, or what the training curriculum looks like. We have been told that training is voluntary, that it's divided into 3 short pieces, and that the training is different for each school. Now, a year has passed. Trauma is still a problem for our kids and their teachers. We have heard it will take at least another year to get all the schools, and we are concerned that our children and their teachers will be left waiting. Our schools need staff, first, ready to recognize trauma, and second, to use strategies so that our children feel safe and supported. So that is why we are here again tonight. We did our research and it led us to ACE Interface Training, which is nationally embraced and is currently rolling out statewide in Virginia. ACE Interface is well known for training people to recognize trauma, a crucial first step. And the Virginia Department of Behavioral Health is ready to provide ACE Interface for over 4,000 staff in Chesterfield before the first day of school next fall, at no cost to the district. They sent a confirmation letter, which we share with school leaders. A district-wide introduction will ensure no one is left waiting. The second element of training is effective strategies for teachers to use in their classrooms once they have identified trauma. And these strategies are urgently needed, where suspensions in the current response to trauma-related behavior. 7 middle and high schools had over 200 suspensions last year, and only 1 has received trauma training. Chesterfield leaders told us that they have limited capacity for training, but these schools are in desperate need. Our kids need care. So our aim is to expand Chesterfield's capacity and make sure these schools get training. We found local providers who deliver training with a clear curriculum and evaluation of results. For example, Child Savers provides training in Petersburg and Richmond, including secondary schools. Finally, this is what we want: Chesterfield to evaluate their training with a nationally recognized assessment tool. Since the equity recommendations approved by the school board this year include trauma-informed care training, we know there is a shared interest in results. We are proposing these steps so that Chesterfield can train all staff and address their suspension problem. Remember what is at stake. This is about keeping our kids and their teachers feeling safe and supported. Our kids need care. We are glad that Dr. Gordon, the Chief of Schools, and Dr. Taylor, the Chief Academic Officer of Chesterfield Public Schools, are here to make commitments to address this serious problem of child trauma in Chesterfield County Public Schools. We are looking for their leadership to provide a district-wide ACE interface training contract with a provider for intensive trauma-informed care training in 6 schools with the worst suspension rates and evaluate their training. Tonight, we have 5 minutes total for Dr. Gordon and Dr. Taylor to ask the questions and clarify their responses. Then there will be a total of 3 minutes for them to respond, and we ask them to stick to the topic of trauma-informed care. Dr. Gordon and Dr. Taylor, please come forward at this time. Marilyn's going to hold mine. Thank you, Marilyn. And we have 4 brief questions for you. We sent you these questions on Tuesday, April the 24th, and our mental health committee summarized the commitments we would be seeking when we met with you on April the 19th and the 24th. For the written assembly, you'll find these questions on page 6 of your program. And we are looking for a yes or a no answer to each question. And thank you, Marilyn, for holding the mic. Chris?
Thank you, Donna. Doctors Gordon and Taylor, as you have heard, Chesterfield has 4,000 staff, and we have confirmation from the Virginia Department of Behavioral Health that they are ready to provide ACE interface training, free of charge, for everyone before the first day of school. ACE interface is a well-known training to recognize trauma. Our question for you is, will you work with the Virginia Department of Behavioral Health to provide all CCPS staff with this training during in-service before the first day of school in fall 2018?
Yes.
We are delighted to hear your response, and we as an organization are committed to provide our full cooperation and support in your efforts. Question number 2. Before we ask the second question, we want to clarify that there are local providers equipped to train the 6 schools with highest overall suspension rates and highest disparity in suspensions for African American students with disabilities. What we are asking is that CCPS identify and contract with a provider who will expand their capacity for training middle and high schools in desperate need. The training should include year-long consultation as well as professional development with an evaluation of results. Doctors Taylor and Gordon, our question for you is, will you take the lead on identifying a training provider and developing the contract by the first day of school in fall 2018?
Yes.
Again, we are delighted with your response, and we offer our full support in your efforts. I'll go on with the third question. As you heard, we want to make sure that the CCPS training is successful and believe that there is a shared interest in measuring results. Assessment tools such as the Wisconsin Trauma Sensitive Schools Fidelity Tool are well developed, free, and accessible online. Doctors Gordon and Taylor, will you ensure the schools use a nationally recognized assessment tool to measure the results of your training?
Yes.
At the risk of being redundant, we are delighted with your response, and we pledge our full cooperation and support. And finally, will you share a progress report on implementation at our Community Problems Assembly on October 29th, 2018?
Yes.
Dr. Taylor and Dr. Gordon, we're thanking you. Looking forward to working with you as well. You have 3 minutes total to address the assembly on the topic of trauma-informed care training, and Marilyn will continue to hold the mic for you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we don't want Marilyn to lose her job. Good evening. I am Thomas Taylor. This is Dr. John Gordon. I'm the Chief Academic Officer for Chesterfield County Public Schools, and Dr. Gordon here is our Chief of Schools. We're humbled to be with you this evening and to share in the mission of better trauma-informed care for our faculties and for our staffs. And I want to actually expand a little bit on our answers and provide some additional context. We're actually really excited about this work. Chesterfield was the first school system in the area to tackle trauma-informed care in a meaningful way. We are also the first school system in the area to have full-time staff dedicated just to trauma-informed care. We're also proponents of a broader profile of meeting our kids' needs through a portfolio of services that include not just trauma-informed care, but also positive behavior supports and interventions, restorative practices, and social and emotional learning. So we believe in a portfolio approach to meeting our kids' needs, and we're really excited about our partnership, really excited about expanding our training, and this is going to be a little bit of a surprise and a shock, and hopefully a good surprise and shock. We are not interested in providing support for just our 6 schools that have the highest instances. We are interested in providing support for all of our schools. The work that RISC has done has actually been very fruitful in our conversations and has helped actually guide some of our work. So I would say keep pushing, keep driving this important question because this is not just an issue that affects Chesterfield County. This is not just an issue that affects the Richmond metropolitan area. This is something that affects the entire United States and really the world. So we are joining you in being committed to this work and seeing it fruitfully done. And I will say, to echo some of our colleague, Mr. Cameron's concerns, along with our own, it is hard for us to commit publicly to go to any vendor because of the Virginia Public Procurement Act and our necessity